Joining us live now to discuss further on this is Nwosu, the National Chairman, African Democratic Congress. Many thanks for joining us. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Now, so let's talk about the events that all took place yesterday, and one of it was the talked about presidential pardon granted to the Ogoni Nine. How do you see this? What is your take on that?
Yeah, that is a commendable act to show that we are in a democracy. So I commend the president for that, and for the Saudi, I wish them well. It was a very regrettable thing that happened, but a lot of things also happened during the military regime. Unfortunately, even more dastardly things are happening under our democratic system. Even more especially since the APC took power. You know, you can imagine what happened at the Lekki toll gate. That's clear murder. Nothing happened. And President Tinubu was in Lagos, was more or less controlling the Lagos politics, and that happened, and so on. So at times, I see a lot of hypocrisy in what we are doing. It's unfortunate, but for the act of the pardon, I commend it.
So do you think that this day is relevant to Nigerians? I mean, I'm talking about June 12th now. Do you think it's relevant to Nigerians?
My concern about June 12th is the hypocrisy of almost most of the people who participated in ensuring that the military went off. All of us, we worked very hard to ensure that the military people were forced to leave power, whether they liked it or not, and so on. But when you now, I mean, it appears that in Nigeria we play politics with everything. And any democracy that is lacking in values, that is, everything is enmeshed in politics, it's not right. But June 12th has happened. All of us, we worked hard. We felt terribly bad. We worked for Abiola's presidency, and that election was actually won. But then, again, this last election, the way it happened, you see the contradictions. Our democracy now full of contradictions, especially when we know that the persons who are now playing key roles 20-something years after are the same individuals who worked very, very, very hard to even to fight against the establishment during June 12th. Now, the same people have made the voice of dissent almost impossible. During Abacha, the June 12th stuff, and so on, yes, some persons went into hiding, but some of us were still out there fighting and doing various things. So our voice was still heard almost everywhere. But now, we are not under the military regime. Elections are being, people will win an election and is thwarted by critical individuals who have been part of the June 12th struggle. It's wrong. We are sending very distorted message, especially this presidency. And I say so because I know Mr. President one-on-one. And during June 12th, we thought we were all on the same trajectory, working to have a stable constitutional democracy so that we can begin the journey of nation building and deepening that democracy and the constitutional rule. Unfortunately, that's not what we're witnessing.
Okay, so you talk about hypocrisy and contradictions, and you just mentioned that you're quite close to the president. So what options are you also putting on the table so that, you know, the political class are listening, the Nigerian people are also saying we need to feel the dividends of democracy. So what suggestions are you putting on ground so that Nigerians can actually feel that they are actually enjoying a democratic dispensation?
Okay. If for President Tinubu, number one, let Rivers State Governor be. It's not only because of even the state of emergency declared there, but since this young man was declared the winner, just as him Tinubu was declared winner, whether they won the election or not, once the court has pronounced, it's inconsequential. They have become leaders in the country and in their state. Why? Because of the because of his works or understanding with Wike, they've not allowed that young man to operate. And then from the almost a month or 2 months after he took over power, they've strangulated him, and eventually Rivers State has become almost a military camp now. That's not good. So for us to start to even feel a bit more of democracy under Tinubu, number one is let the governor of Rivers State be. We are all aware. Look at what's happening in California, for instance. Look at even in Chicago, where Mr. President lived for more than a decade. Look at what's happening there. The protest is going on there, but no state of emergency. So one, the state of emergency must be lifted immediately in Rivers State. Number two, the economy. People are suffering. Okay. The essence of democracy and any government is to reposition the country, build security, and create prosperity for the people. When you cannot do that, when you can't begin to create prosperity for the people, then the best way is to start checking out and not using your power to muzzle everybody. To begin to sing a new song.
So, Mr. Ralph, back to June 12th. There's a school of thought that believes that June 12th should be left to remember MKO and his struggles, and then shift Democracy Day to another day. Do you also believe in this? Or do you agree with this, rather?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mashood Abiola was a great man. Apart from winning the election, the first very, very clear election won across the country, was also a great philanthropist and a proper Nigerian figure. So, yes, instead of for democracy, either the day we actually transitioned, we were able to get the military out, and they gave us power on May 29th, that can either be declared the Democracy Day or the Democracy Day that we got from the day we got our independence, October 1st. Mashood Abiola's Day can be given so that there are a lot of signals it will give to that's a signal of freedom. So I have never thought of this perspective, but yes, Mashood Abiola's Day could be June 12th, and the date of freedom. So that the idea of freedom for the people, you know, and more so, he's also into journalism and so on. So
okay,
freedom is critical.
Okay, so while a lot happened yesterday, there are some Nigerians who still believe that there is nothing to celebrate about Nigeria's democracy. Do you agree?
We have a lot to celebrate. You know, we have crossed some milestones. For the first time, for the first time in the in the different republics, we have gone beyond 4 years, because all along, check not okay. In the Second Republic, we did the first 4 years, but within 3 months into the second tenure of Shagari, the government was torpedoed. But for the first time, government has gone from one hand to another hand. For the first time, if not that the APC bungled it, we've seen a government, a president, who called the person that INEC announced as before even the announcement, called him to say, Mr. President, congratulations. That was a turning point for our democracy. Unfortunately, it was bungled because the guy who did it, instead of the leadership of the country taking that act to a new dimension, to take it to build our democracy, they abused it by counting almost everybody that worked with Jonathan. And that is wrong. But is there something to celebrate for something we have not had before? We've not had, as a matter of fact, this is 26 years. 26 years of the democracy is what celebrating.
Thank you so much.
It should be celebrated on May 29th, going by the ideas that our people are beginning to do. You know, Nigerians are very creative and thoughtful.
Thank you.
It's just bad government is making our creativity and innovation to feel
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Raf. That's the much we can take on AIT reports. We have been talking to Raf